Welcome. Welcome to Quarantine with Styles, aka Driving with Styles. Your boy is, I think he's live on YouTube now. I'm trying a YouTube angle. You can check me out at Driving with Styles on YouTube. And I should be available. I'm checking on my own right now. It's the first time I'm trying it. So if you guys want to check me out on YouTube, you can get me there too. All right. So this is the normal, the usual Friday before the game. All right. As usual, you can tweet me at vstyle17, or you can hit me up on Periscope. I'm following that. If you have any questions or you have any comments or whatever you want to do, I'm here. So Fridays is for all the newcomers. It's a 30-minute show, sweet, quick and sweet. So first thing we get into the opponent. I look at their first offensive and their first defensive drive for their previous game. So let's get into that. So this is last week's game against Alabama. Now the first drive for both guys was not very good. They both ended up in turnovers pretty quickly too. So this is actually the second drive. All right. This is something I really think we're going to need to do for us. And we can't allow Georgia to pack the box with tight formations. We're going to have to stretch this defense off horizontally because they are very fast. They're big and fast. Their corners or their secondary, to me now, I am grading this against Tennessee and Alabama has a freakish group of receivers, but they get beat consistently. So I think we need to put Ali put in a 11 formation, might go trips to one side with the tight end and two receivers, and might put Ali on the bottom or on the top by himself and see if he can go to work when they're on man. But we're also going to have to give some more eye candy. This is a great design by Sark with the eye candy. They motion out Harris, which immediately gets the attention of the linebacker. They're not in man, though. They're in zone. So I'm interested in why he's vacating this so quickly when you got these two guys who should be able to handle that. But they throw it to, well, probably their fastest player. Now, I want you to watch this. He gets up the field and allow his blocks just to happen. He doesn't wait. He knows they're coming, and he gets up the field without going too far inside. That's the key. We tend to catch the ball and want to go, we take a little too many steps this way before we go up. All Waddle does, he takes a pause, and then he gets his guys out, and then he goes. Pause, then he goes upfield, away from the pile. Those guys are going to be running. Now, this is another zone, but corner gets beat deep. 6. Now, I don't know if they saw something about Bama, but I want to show something about defense. Defense. This guy's in man-to-man. This guy knows he has contained. His guy blocks him. Watch how he fights to get upfield. Know what happens? Know what this guy does? He doesn't try to fight over here too, knowing this guy's going to try to go outside. Know what he does? He fits in his gap. Defense is all about fits and responsibility. Take care of your job, and it's going to work out. When you start trying to do other things is when bad things happen. He fits right there, right? So now he can't come to the field. Look at this. We're running. He's fighting. Now he's going to get held. but he's fighting. That's perfect defense. That's what I mean by doing everybody does their job. Not trying to do too much. Do your job. Look at the same thing here. I want you to see this. He has contained. He has contained. He fits with this guy. Now watch, right here. He's inside. He's fitting. He is trying everything in his power to fight to keep contained. That's perfect. He sets his, that's perfect. You can't play it any better. You can't play that any better. Now they getting third and second and long. Same thing. This is like clockwork. This is something we don't do well. Watch this guy stun this guy. He doesn't, I don't want to say the word I want to say, but he doesn't breast fight with these guys. He comes and stuns him. Watch how he stuns him. Boom. Press him back in the backfield onto the runner. Affects his running line. So now, if he didn't do this, he could go straight downhill. But since he stunned him, now he's got to bend it a little bit. And once you bend it, that gives all your other teammates time to come over. That's what defense is about. Now they get him in third and long, and it's just too long. Just too much. But that's how defense is played, man. Guys are doing what they're supposed to do. And it's really just as simple as that. There's not much more to it. Guys doing what they are supposed to do. So that's what we have to do. And we have to be focused the whole game. Not just most of the game, not some of the game, the whole game. And if you're not, if you feel yourself losing the energy, tap your helmet, let one of your brothers come in. That's not being a coward. That's not being anything else but being a team player. That's all it is about. You give it your all until you can't give your all anymore. Then you should have a backup, a teammate who can give it for you. So, the passing game. Everybody wants to talk about the passing game. And the passing game falls on everyone. It's not a one-person problem. It is a multiple-person problem. All right? It is a problem that starts from the top. And it's not a it's not a problem. It is a philosophy. Coach Stoops wants to run the ball. And this is going to be an interesting game because we're facing two coordinators who are defensive minded. They want to run the ball. They want to milk the clock, take as much time off the clock as possible, put their defenses in the best situation possible. So there's situations where when we are backed up, when we're in negative field position, we're not going to take the chance. That's just the playbook for a defensive coordinator. You're not going to take a chance. We're ready to punt it. Try to get a first down because all you need is one. Because you can get Duffy about the 20-yard line, he's going to flip the field. He's going to flip it to at least to the 30, and that's not a great punt for him. He's going to flip it, okay? So all we need is one first down. Then we can flip it. Then hopefully we can get a 3 and out, and then maybe we can get some good field position. But that passing game, it starts with Coach Stoops because of his philosophy. Now it starts with Coach Graham. And this is where it gets difficult, okay? And fans don't want to hear it because you can have a high school coach that can just call whatever play he wants and all this stuff. And the problem is you can only run the plays that your players are able to run. You're only and then on top of that, you're going to only call the plays that you are confident that they're going to be able to run. So you can have the best playbook in the world, but if the players that you have on staff or on the roster can't handle certain plays, you just can't run them. Could we be more creative? Sure. But when you get more creative, your chance of turnovers becomes heightened. When you start pushing the ball down the field, your chance of turnovers increase. Okay? Once you start pushing the ball 15, 20 yards down the field, your chance of turnovers increase. That's why if you watch the last, how many years Stoops been here? 8, 9 years? 2013? We throw deep balls, but they're deep balls. They are deep balls. They are posts. They are go routes. They are seams. We are throwing it deep. So if something happens, it's a punt. You don't see us throwing many dig routes, many double post routes. You don't see us throwing across the middle 15, 20 yards down the field. You know why? Because that's when you get a tip ball and you get a turnover. So, it's top to bottom. The next level that's a problem is the quarterback. I'm going to leave the one that I talk about a lot. The next problem is the quarterback. As a quarterback, you have to make a pre-snap read. Then after you take the snap, you have to make adjustments because the defense can't fool you. It can look like man, but when you take your step back, they can switch it to zone in a heartbeat. Especially teams who make it look like quarters. They can look like man or it can look like quarters and then turn to man. You got to be able to process the defense after the ball to snap. Now, sometimes we have gotten fortunate where our pre-snap read was the right read. But other times we have been unfortunate where the pre-snap read isn't a right read because the defense changed. You think it's man and they play zone. You think it's zone and they play man. Things change. Quarterback has to be able to adapt and process it on the snap. It's got to be quick. You can't make your mind up and then just automatically stick with it. You got to make your mind up and then say, okay, snap, I'm going to the X receiver. Okay, he's not there. They changed the coverage. Now I got to quickly go to my safety valve. Sometimes, as a quarterback, and this is the other part, you got to trust your arm and throw it. I don't care what's happening. The windows are going to be tight. You got to trust your arm and throw it. Or you got to throw the receiver open. Just because the defender is even with him, as I was taught, if it's even, he's leaving. Period. And that's not my saying. That's old as dirt. That's saying if he's even, he's leaving. Because he's running forward, the defensive player is running backwards or sideways. So if he's even, he's leaving. You got to throw it. Okay? So sometimes we have to just throw it. There have been some crossing routes on 3rd and 6 where I've seen Rig not open, but he's running to a different zone. There's no one over there. Yeah, when you look at him, when you step back and you hear and you see him cross your face right here, you got to know what's happening over here too. Because just because there's a defensive player right here, right in front of you, doesn't mean there's one here. So if he's even with him now, you can throw him open and then he can possibly get the first down. That's another problem. We're not trusting ourselves and we're too cognizant of a turnover. You just got to throw the damn ball with confidence. Period. Sometimes we just haven't done it. We haven't thrown the ball 100% with confidence. We just haven't. Now, when we do, it looks really, really good. It looks really, really good. But when we don't, that's when our fundamentals go down a little bit, or we try to run the ball. Which leads to the last problem I have for the quarterbacks, is you have to step up in the pocket. You're not taking a snap from center. So you're taking a snap already from 3-4 yards back. Okay. Then you're taking a 1-2 or one step back at least, usually 2 or 3 steps back. So now you are really on a 7-step drop, which means the launch angle for the tackle is really deep. Take your step back. If you don't throw off of that plant and you're gonna throw it, climb the pocket. If we would climb the pocket, we would have had at least the last game, at least 3 running attempts, at least, without losing yards. We cannot do the Rex Grossman. I'm calling Rex Grossman because he's not the only one that does it, but that's my guy. Rex played with the Bears, and he consistently would escape out the back of the pocket, which you just cannot do on this level. In high school, you can do it. In the pros, you definitely can't. You can get away with it in college sometimes, but the best way to do it is to climb the pocket. Climb the pocket, put the defense on notice, because now you got to put that linebacker on the bind. Is he going to come up and try to stop the run because we got a running quarterback, or he's going to stay deep in his zone? If he comes up too quickly, he opens up a hole in the zone across the middle, or wherever that linebacker is at the time. He opens up his zone if he leaves his zone too quickly. Okay? So that's why you step up in the pocket. Step in the especially, this is not Peyton Manning, who we know isn't going to run. We got quarterbacks who have athletic ability that can take it to the house if someone's a man and they beat the one defender. So that's why quarterbacks have to climb the pocket. Now, last but not least, is the freaking wide receivers. I've seen too many instances, where there's not a sense of urgency. I've seen too many instances where we are not fighting for our quarterback. Because I'm going to tell you, playing quarterback in high school, like I played quarterback my whole life. I played quarterback until I got to college. I played it when I was YMCA at 6. I played it all the way until I was 17, senior year in high school. That's my position. So you're not going to throw a perfect ball all the time. It's highly unlikely you're going to throw the perfect ball 70% of the time. You need your receivers to make you look good too. You're in college because you have hands. Or you better be a burner. If you're not a burner, you better have hands. Too many instances of drop balls. And drop balls will form a lack of confidence in the quarterback of throwing it to you or throwing it on certain routes. We have one receiver that I see has a sense of urgency in his route running, and we all know who that is. All the others, not so much. It's a sense of urgency. And here's the deal. You don't have to be a damn burner to get open. You need to learn how to set up the defensive back. And if you don't know how to set up the defensive back, get with your damn teammate and ask him. Ask him, how can you beat me? Or how can I beat you? What bothers you? That's what I ask my receiver. Like, what? So when I do this, what do y'all think? Well, it looks like you're sitting. Well, I'm actually not sitting. But okay. So now you think I'm sitting. Now you think you can go deep on me, right? Okay. I'm not sitting. I'm just ready to jam your you know what. All right? You got to get information from your teammates. You got to get information from yourself. But you got to learn how to set up a DB. You got to learn what happens when you stem a certain way. Got to learn what if you release a certain way. Got to learn if what? Man, what if I'm on the top of the numbers and we're in the hash? What do you think I'm going to run? As I get on my corners about knowing down the distance and studying the film, same thing for the damn wide receivers. You got to know how your defense, how that corner across from you against Georgia plays man-to-man when he's impressed. When he's off man, does he always at 7? Does he line up at 9, creep up to 7? Does he line up at 7, go to 5? Those are things I used to do. I usually line up at 9 and creep to 7. So then the receiver thinks he's closing my cushion. No, he's not. I'm intentionally doing that. There's certain things. You got to learn those things. When you run a slant, how are you going to set him up? You just can't run right into his damn chest. Are you going to outside release? Give yourself a little more room. So when you break in, you got a little more room. How are you going to set up the DB on every route? Period. What if you're an off man and he's playing outside leverage? How am I going to get this out route in 3D? How am I best able to make him think I'm not going to run this out route? You got to set him up. That's how you get open. We're not doing enough to get open as receiver. You don't need to be a burner because we're not running aggressive routes. You watch Alabama. Alabama's running aggressive routes because they have guys who can get down the field in a heartbeat. So they can run a shallow post with a deep post behind it with a freaking crossing route in front of all that. They can do all that because those guys get down the field. Also, the defense is scared of them and they're not impressed man. So their release is easier. So the receivers got to do their job better. That's the problem I have. I don't see a sense of urgency. I don't see great route running. And you don't have to be the great route runner to get open either. Learn what your skill set is and lean towards that. But get open. There's too many teams that freaking play those man-to-man, and we're not getting open. If somebody plays you man-to-man, that's you against him. That's a personal battle. I'm going to try to win that battle every time. And I only see one guy trying to win that battle every time or doing whatever is possible to win that battle every time. We can't have that. Now, if we got one guy whom we trust, I think Coach Grant's got to get ultra creative and get him open. Motion, single him up backside. We can motion too to identify if it's man-to-man or zone. That's another thing that we could start doing. We can start with one thing a lot of teams do is they start the running back out empty and then motion them back in. If that linebacker comes back with him, you know it's man. If no one really moves, you know it's zone. We can motion the wide receiver. We can do a fake motion. The wide receiver motion halfway, then comes back. So then if the DB, nickel, whomever, goes with them, you know it's man. If we're having a problem identifying coverage, that's what we need to do. We need to pull out all the stops this week. That's just what we need to do. All the stops. I've seen Coach Grant call games at Cincinnati. He knows how to call a football game. He called games last year when we all got excited. He knows how to call a football game. These guys got to execute. No matter what he calls, you got to execute. We're not executing. And like I said on Wednesday or Monday or both, it's a player's game, man. Execution is everything. I don't care what the coach calls. If all 11 guys execute, the play will be successful. And success doesn't mean touchdown. Success means get 3 or 4 yards. So we're ahead of the chain. Now, if he calls a perfect call and we all execute, now that's a touchdown. But every play call isn't going to be perfect because you know what? That other guy, Kirby Smart, he's getting paid big money. His defensive coordinator getting paid big money too. They're going to make some damn good calls too. It's not high school where the coach on the other side of the field might be horrible. Or he might not have the Joes that you have. See, now our excuse is not about having the Joes. We have the Joes. You just got to execute. And that's it. It's as simple as that. And we're at a level now with the depth that we have. If the first guy don't execute, get his ass out the game. Get him out the game. I don't care if he's a 6-year senior, 7-year senior, redshirt freshman, true freshman, whomever. And if that true freshman doesn't know the playbook, and he can give you some juice, you put him in and you run the plays that he knows. Period. All right. So the passing game is many layers to it. It's not an easy fix. But it is an easier fix if the guys execute. All about execution. Because I'm going to get back to this. That first play of the game, which was a perfect call. I don't have the film on me now. You had a wide receiver out, and you had, now my hands are flipped. You had a wide receiver outside with Upshaw inside. Wide receiver ran a smash route-ish. The sideline's over here. And my hands are flipped. I can't even. He gave Upshaw that whole third of field to separate. Upshaw separated. Had a step or two. I'm going to call it step and a half on a defender. And we underthrew the freaking ball. If we execute that, lead him or put it on him, it's maybe a touchdown. If not a touchdown, it's a 30-yard game. Which doesn't mean we score. But you know what it does? It flips the field. Now Missouri has to start inside their 10-yard line. Now the game's different because now they're going to be a little bit conservative because they don't want to give up a quick turnover. Then we score quickly. So then we go 3 and out. Then we punt it. Then we get the ball on the 50-yard line. Then we have to score. All right. Let me go over these. Let me get out of here quickly. Don't want to keep y'all too long because I've done that on the first 2 days. So let's go into these picks. Give me 1 second. Oops. Your boy didn't have this up. So I'm going to just go through it and I'll circle them later. We already know the Falcons and the Panthers. I actually picked the Falcons because the Falcons are better than where they're 1-6 at that time. So they're 2-6 now. They are a better team than that, period. They have let some teams come back too many times and they've given up the you know what, but they won finally. The next game, the Bills and the Patriots, the Pats are faltering. Cam getting injured really hurt the development of that offense. And they're just not they're not playing well at all. So the Bills, I don't think, and I'm gonna say this, the Bills, if you follow me, if you're a new follower, you don't know this, I've never been a fan of Josh Allen. Not our Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Bengals, for the Bills, Josh Allen. Never been a fan. If you can only complete 50% of your passes in college, it doesn't bode well for when you get to the league. It just doesn't. So I never trust him because that is to me a pure indication of how you're going to play on the next level. Because the windows get tighter. They don't get easier. They get worse. So I'm glad everybody should be getting off of him as an MVP pick. But the Bills defense is just too damn tough. So I'm going Bills. Titan Bengals. Sorry. My Houday fans, Tennessee is going to come back and win this game from their loss. Tennessee is a really good team. I just don't think the Bengals defensively will be able to stop Henry. I think Joe Burrow will be able to put up some points, just not enough. Got the Browns over to Vegas. Vegas treated me bad last week. So Browns over Vegas. I think the Browns are like the team that is good, but people want to think they're worse than what they are. But they're 5-2. And people are upset that they haven't beat the really tough teams. It doesn't matter. Not every team in the league is high echelon. Beat the teams that you should beat, and then take a couple of the really tough teams. The Browns win this game. I don't trust the Lions with Patricia. I got the Colts. I'm going to go through this quick because I'm kind of late. So then Packers. This is the lock of the week, Chiefs. Dolphins with Tua. Not going to get it done against Aaron Donald. This is the tough one, but I'm thinking the Ravens at home is going to take this. I've been on Justin Herbert since a couple years ago. People didn't believe me. People still like, are you sure? I'm like, dude, that his changing in coaches hurt him more than anything. I think he had 3 different offensive coordinators, 3 different systems. Herbert is a stud. Saints going to go into Chi-Town and pull that out. 12th man. Going to be a little too difficult for 49ers, but Kyle Shanahan is that dude. Eagles and Bucks. Those are my picks for the pros. And now let me get you to college. Real quickly, I do us last. I think LSU is going to be able to pull this out. I just don't trust Auburn offensively. And LSU has, I've been on Emslinger for a while, but man, he's been putting up points this year. I can't say nothing about him. LSU issue has been defense. I think LSU pulls that out. I think they starting to find a rhythm. Ole Miss goes into Vandy. Bama slaughters Mississippi State. Arkansas, that bandwagon's going to start losing some people. And Missouri, we let them freaking win that game. And Florida's going to beat Missouri. Those are my picks. And I got us losing to Georgia. I got the score right now, 17-3. That Georgia defense is hellacious. And if that offense, I'm going to say this, if that offense plays well, this game can be just like last year. But that offense is going to have to stay on the field some. Going to have to stay on the field some. And I don't think they're going to be able to just run it down their throat. We are going to have to be able to threaten Georgia with the pass. All right. So I hope you guys have a good night. Enjoy this early game. And hopefully I am wrong. And I'll be more than happy to eat the crow on Monday when we do the review on Monday. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, you can follow me, subscribe, Driving with Styles on YouTube. I will probably tweet that out tonight. I'll tweet out the link to the site. I see them on YouTube. So you can watch on YouTube live. You can watch it later. Or you can watch on Periscope as some of you have been doing already. Again, appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on Monday.